Hey guys, Ben here. Welcome back to another live stream. Today we are live with the DCTV show, episode 132. We are here with Declan. He is here on this side of the screen, and we're going to be joined by Andy of the Flash podcast, of Screen Rant, of everything. He's going to be joining in about 10 minutes time. So today is a very important day for us Flash fans, as is in the title, in the thumbnail and everything. As everyone's been talking about today, I've seen some tweets like on Discussing Film like blow up today, like a lot of attention. So a lot of people, I think it's just nice for us to see, okay, the Flash is trending. It's just good to see for us Flash fans out there. But yeah, welcome to the live stream. Remember, this is, the usual Thursday live stream. So as we go along, please be sure to send in super chats if you want to support the channel. If you want to be answered on screen, we'll be sure to pop up all your questions that you send in. And obviously, that's the priority way that we're going to be answering stuff, because we do have main topics that we're going to be talking about today, but we want to get your interaction in the chat. So keep interacting and it will all be great. So yeah, welcome to everyone that is joining. I've seen some people, you guys have been here for a while. Craig is here. Welcome, Craig. Shout out to Craig. He's got a great website, of course, Krypton site and everything. And then we got Vicky. Hi, it's me, Vicky. My birthday is today. Well, happy birthday. That is a big coincidence if you're a Flash fan. So happy birthday to you. We got Cal. I can't believe it is. I can't believe it. The day is here. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah, me too. Obviously, we had that Flash Day the other day, like in February, but that was when the Flash went forward in time and he actually time traveled. And, that's when he got the newspaper and it was like, oh, February 4th or something. I don't remember the day. You guys can tell me in the chat. 2024. But this was the infamous, newspaper article that we all know and love. So, yeah, we're going to be chatting about that first. But, yeah, I see all of you guys in the chat. Shout out to all of you. Before we get into our first main topic, which is to do with the Flash, to do with that newspaper, Nathan has been a member for 22 months. He sent this in along with it. Happy Flash Vanishing in Crisis Day, everyone. Funny enough, earlier we had Red Skies where he was Nathan Vanishes in Crisis stream. Well, maybe. Well, I'll check on you tomorrow, Nathan, yeah? We'll just see if you're there. Yeah, thanks for being a member, and shout out to all the members, and hi to Max in the chat. You can become a member by clicking the join button, which is just like next to the subscribe button if you want to do that. Cal has sent in the first super chat of the live stream. Shout out to Cal for the 199. Cal says April 25th, 2024 is finally here. Yeah, it's finally here. Now we're going to talk about this. So Dec, did you remember it was today before today? What do you think?
To be honest, I did forget. I didn't remember it was today. Now that the Arrowverse is kind of over, it's not always on my brain like it used to be.
Yeah.
So I did forget, but seeing it all today, it just brought back like a whole load of memories.
Yeah, no, it brought back so many memories. And actually, I saw it yesterday. I saw some people saying tomorrow is the day. The day is finally here. It's April 25th, 2024. Like, because for those of you guys who have followed us for a long time, like we've made videos on the Flash for such a long time, since like 2016. Don't know when you started your channel, Dec, but around that time.
Yeah, I think I started doing Arrowverse content in 2017.
Yeah, so similar time. And we've obviously gone back to this newspaper so many times. Obviously, it was a big part to do with Crisis. We weren't sure if this was when Crisis on Infinite Earths was supposed to happen. We weren't sure if this was just Reverse Flash. Obviously, the newspaper changed over time with all the different timeline changes and everything. It got a bit confusing at one point, if I'm being completely honest. But this was the original shot. We saw, I don't remember the first time. Was the first time we saw it, was that like a post-credit scene with Reverse Flash with Tom Cavanaugh?
Pilot, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. Like,
was it in the pilot at the end?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like it was almost like a post-credit scene in the
Yeah, it
very
was like
first episode.
on, right?
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah,
Hmm.
I seem to remember it as like a thing where I think Eobard had gone into, well, as Harrison Wells as we knew him in that point,
Yeah.
went
Okay, no,
into the time
it's
vault.
confirmed. It's confirmed. I just typed it up. It was at the end of episode 1 of season 1
Yeah.
when Harrison Wells goes into the time vault on his wheelchair, and that's the
Oh,
moment
and
where
he
he
stands
stands
up
up.
as well.
Yeah, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, like this guy's faking this. Like, who the hell is this? Because you have to remember, guys, this was episode 1. He takes his glasses off and everything, and he goes up in the time vault and then you get to see Gideon for the first time, and then you have the Crisis newspaper reveal, which obviously was like a major kind of kickstarter to the Flash, right? Would you
Yeah.
agree?
Oh,
Like, it was
absolutely.
such a
Yeah. It was
big
like,
storyline.
yeah, it was one thing I think all the Arrowverse shows, but particularly Flash, and I think Arrow did this really well also, is they have really solid pilots, and they always had like a hook to kind of get you to come back the next week. I
Yeah,
mean, despite the fact I started watching The Flash when it was in season 2, so I wasn't watching it live season 1.
yeah,
Even just watching the first episode on Blu-ray when I had it, that was like, oh, like that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Not only because you have the twist of Harrison Wells, but you also had the newspaper article there as well, which just kind of sent your mind spiraling as to like, that's so far in the future. Like, where could this show be going? Like,
Yeah, because you have to remember, guys, this was in 2014 when this episode came out. So
yeah,
this was actually 10 years ago from now. Like, I don't
yeah,
know the exact day when it came out, but it would have been around October time, actually,
yeah,
2014. So not April. So yeah, work out how long ago that was. But um, yeah, I remember watching it. I'm the same as you. And to be quite honest, I didn't watch The Flash when it first came out. I watched it in season 2, like you. I think I started at the start of season 2, and that's because I I was into DC already, and I was like, I've been looking an eye in the Flash for a while because I remember it was like on Amazon Prime, maybe season 1 or something, and I remember being like, oh, this is cool because I watched Young Justice before, and I was like, I love the Flash, I love Wally in the show, I love Barry. And I was like, I should watch this show. And then I just like instantly fell in love. Then I fully got into Arrow. I caught up on all the seasons. And then start of season 2, that's when I was watching it weekly. And that's when I was watching. The one show I was there from the start was Supergirl. Like, I remember when the first episode came out and I was watching it, and I just watched week to week. So yeah, with The Flash, it was like, yeah, I wasn't there exactly when 2014 when this episode came out, but it was like a big moment. But yeah, sorry for the background noise.
yeah.
So with
Yeah,
this,
it's really it does bring back a lot of memories, like especially because I'm kind of similar to you. Like, say, I started watching it in season 2, but even just having that hook was really exciting because it's similar to Arrow as well. Like, the first episode of Arrow ends in a way where you find out that the reason why Oliver kept getting kidnapped throughout the episode was because Moira was orchestrating it. His own mother
yeah,
was orchestrating it. So like, that was like a good hook. And I remember even like I know this isn't Flash related, but I remember like my dad watched Arrow.
yeah,
And I remember like showing him the first episode of Arrow, and I remember him like seeing that little cliffhanger at the end.
mm-hmm.
He got like so invested at that point. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, there's a twist," and I was like,
What's going
"Yes,
on?"
there is."
No, I always felt like the Arrowverse was the best at the twist. That's why in later seasons, like specifically the Flash season 4, where there was not many twists and the villain wasn't very interesting for most of the season, I just kind of lost interest in a lot of that. I felt like they were missing what made season 1, 2, and 3 so good. Like, because at season 4, when you got into the Thinker, you already had Savitar, and that was like, yes, not everyone's favorite season, but it was like one of the greatest mysteries,
Yeah,
like same with Zoom, the man in the Iron Mask. I remember that's what inspired me to make videos. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like,
yeah.
right? Like that was the best
I
thing about the
remember
Arrowverse.
all.
They knew how to hook you.
Yeah, and they were. The thing is, I don't know about you, but they were always the videos that did the best. It was like all like
Of course.
the videos
Sabotage
surrounding like
made my channel.
yeah, like literally it was always like who is this like mystery villain, or like who is this
Yeah.
this other thing, like say like the Man in the Iron Mask was like a very popular topic at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Arrowverse was always just really really good at that stuff, especially
Yeah.
because so many of the shows in so many of their seasons had like mystery villains. So yeah, like Savitar was always huge, and like on Arrow at that time as well was Prometheus. So
Mhm.
like there was always stuff going on.
Yeah, always, like always so much. And like, yeah, it's not just like one Arrowverse show. Obviously, I think The Flash and Arrow were best at it. But even Supergirl had its hooks. Even Legends had its hooks. Like I remember the end of Legends when was it Hourman that came out
Oh
at the
yeah,
end of
yeah.
season
That was a
one in
tease
the
for the
Wave
Justice
Rider.
Society.
Yeah, and I thought that was a great cliffhanger. Like I remember at the time being like, this kind of blew my mind. It was like, what was the scene? He's like, oh, you're here where you're supposed to be, where you said you'd be, or something. It's like,
Yeah.
I like watching that scene again because that's just a good example of like how the Arrowverse hooked people. And so let's read some what people were saying in the chat. Lots of you guys super active there. That's good. Let's see. Okay. Nathan says, I was an OG watcher. I started with Arrow and remember watching when Barry appeared in season 2. Oh, nice, Nathan. Having his crush on Felicity and then got struck by lightning as the backdoor to the Flash. Yep, that was obviously Grant's first episode as the Flash, as Barry. That was kind of like a backdoor pilot to kind of gauge the interest in Grant's Flash. I started watching it when it first came out. Cal says that's awesome, Cal, as well. Set twist at the end of the episode, the first episode of Arrows. What got me hooked all the way to the end of it all. Yeah, and I think the Prometheus season was very good at it as well. That's me personally. I love season 5. Those were the times. Loved the mystery behind it. Yeah, like honestly, I think there was a reason that a lot of our channels kind of took off at that time because there was actual intrigue. Like the fans were super hooked, super into it. Like if it wasn't for the mysteries in like season 3 of The Flash specifically for me, I don't think my channel would have gone anywhere, to be honest. Like I remember those videos just absolutely blown the fuck up. So yeah. I remember when this aired, I thought they were hinting that April 25th, 2024 was where The Flash would end after a 10-season run that would end with Crisis. But then, of course, they sped things up. That is very true, Craig. I think a lot of people probably thought that at the time. And I think that's reasonable to think. I don't think that's crazy at all. Like, I mean, in an ideal world, I would have loved it to actually end today, like with the finale today. That would be great.
Imagine.
But I guess we're only a year off, so it's not the worst thing. But yeah, I think a lot of people thought the same way. Let's bring in.
I think it was reasonable to think that though.
Oh, totally reasonable. Yeah, like it's not crazy at all. Nathan says he thought the same as well as Craig. So, gonna bring in Andy.
Hi.
Andy. Sorry that I didn't see you down there.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I was just listening in.
Good to have you, Andy. We're just chatting about The Flash, chatting about today. Any thoughts? Did you remember it? Number one.
Of course, I remember it was the day because everyone was like fucking. Like, I think I was like seeing like at least like one IG story every day from Sunday till now. Like, in a couple of days, he vanishes. But no, but I mean, like, I mean, The Flash, for anyone who knows me, it was the show that really kicked off my career in a very big way and so on. So yeah, like I'm so glad that Grant posted something, Candace posted something. So it's and it's also kind of fun, like that, just seeing the fandom still intact of like, but it's also, but then of course then the whole discourse comes out of, well, I think he should have, this should have today should have been the finale. He should have become the lightning bolt that he gets struck by and da 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 da. So I'm just kind of like, we need to move on. But like, I think it's sweet. I think it's sweet that that this show particularly had these like special dates where like we get to kind of like reminiscent of oh, this happens and so
like Back to the Future. It's like
well, right, but it's like earlier this year we had when February something like that, when Barry travels to 2024.
Yeah.
So like I like that that this show in the franchise gets to have that.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it really like kind of woke up the fandom. Like they all crawled out of the cracks. Everyone's posting, everyone's like super active online, just being like, today's the day. It's actually very nice, and I agree with you. Like I was just super happy to see like Grant specifically posting and Candace as well, just being like, it's nice that they actually pay attention, because I think a lot of actors will just like be like, whatever, it's just a day in the show. But I
think also there's times when they have some really good publicists that will be like kind of, hey, just so you know, this is kind of coming up. It wouldn't shock me if they kind of knew already. Like,
I think they just got tagged in loads of stuff like you.
Definitely.
Like they would have seen it for sure. So I mean, it was the same for me. It was like people on like Twitter and stuff were like atting me for the last like couple of days, being like, it's coming. Quite honestly, I think I wouldn't have remembered, but then it's just like you can't escape it online.
Bullshit, you would have remembered because you needed to make a video. Like, so it's like, I
didn't make a video on it. Live stream on
it.
Craig says season 4 was rough, but season 5 was probably worse.
Season 5, in my opinion, is when I mean, I don't think I've said this before on the Flash Pod, but I don't think I said it to you guys maybe. But season 5, I was getting to the point where I was going to quit. I was going to quit the show. I was going to quit the podcast and just, because I just couldn't deal with what the show was doing at that point. But then when Eric was announced that he was taking over, I'm kind of like, okay,
you didn't like what Todd Helbing and
at that point, like listen, Todd Helbing is a sweet man. I like a lot of things he has done, but at that point when we got to season 5, I'm like, if this is the best he can do, I can't. Like, it hurts me to see someone like Grant and Candace being wasted, with this type of writing and and so on. So, but then again, I love like a lot of things that Todd has done on the Flash before. I like what he's done on Superman Lois.
Oh yeah.
So, but it was just that point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to follow his Flash era anymore. But once they announced Eric, I was kind of like, okay, because I already knew Eric from a few years back, and I was like, yeah, you know what, I will give this a shot. And he improved a lot of things. I know there's things that we can definitely criticize, but it is also a lot of good things that he did bring to the show during his time.
Yeah. For me, that was season 4. I just really hated season 4. Like, I liked the Nora mystery. That was the best thing. I hated the Thinker. I hated the tone of those early episodes. Like, it was just a joke to me. Like, I don't know. Season 4 has like on the Arrowverse, like it's just really bad every season 4. Like that I remember, like Supergirl, not the best season. I didn't like Agent Liberty very much. And then Arrow had a stinker. I don't know if you guys agree.
I think Arrow season 4 is probably, like, in terms of like season 4s of the entire franchise,
the worst.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Then I would say Supergirl.
Then the fun. Legends.
It's a tie between the Flash and Black Lightning. Because Black
Legends season 4 is awful.
Legends season 4.
See, that's when I really started becoming a bigger fan of the show, because that's when Matt Ryan came in as Constantine. I'm like,
no, I love Constantine, but like the tone has changed, and I like the tone.
That was when the show changed into a comedy, and I didn't like it.
Oh, it was a comedy way before that, and I think it was
but then
it was still a superhero show.
Yeah, it just like stopped being what it was before. I don't know. Like, I get it that some fans like you, Andy, like you really loved what it became, but like for us specifically, I know we both didn't like
the fandom of Legends is really split. You've got the people who liked the first 3 seasons and the people who liked the last 3 seasons.
I love season 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, me too. And then I think season 6 they started to recover it, and it sort of started to come back. But
you know what's weird is that because season 1 is the one where like that season 1 is like when they really try to make it as much of an Arrowverse show as possible.
Yeah,
and then I liked, in season 2 you can tell that they're moving you know, into a whole, you know, because that's when they were really redeveloping. I mean, that's what when I spoke to Keto on the showrunners, where she was talking about like that, you know, when she came in during season 2, that's when like they were in the midst of revamping the whole show because they knew that season 1 was just not working.
Yeah. No. I understand that they needed to change it. Like for some reason they just thought. I mean, maybe she explained it better to you, but like clearly, I think the ratings weren't very good. Like early on, right in the first couple of seasons, was that maybe part of the reason? Do you know why they actually changed it?
Because the critical reception was just not good for it. Like, like people didn't like Vandal Savage. People didn't really like the structure of the show. But like once they kind of leaned into, you know, let's be this kind of like zany kind of like
Legion of Doom was good. Season 2.
Yeah.
I think the problem was like season 1 took itself too seriously. Like I enjoy season 1, but it took itself too seriously. And then season 2 they lightened it up, and then they realized, oh, this works. Season 3 was even better in my opinion. I love season 3. That's like a top tier Arrowverse season for me. But then, like I say, I think it's season 4 they just went too far with it. Like it literally turned from a superhero show that was like comedy centric into just a straight up comedy superhero show second. Like it got to the point when like that was the point in the show when the characters just stopped wearing their costumes, and it was like, okay, I guess this isn't the show it was.
Cal agrees he did not like season 4, but I'm sure many of you guys in the chat agree with Andy and say it got better after season 3. So he's
talking about Legends, or what show we're talking about?
Yeah, Legends.
I mean, I like season 2 and 3. I just think that for me, like when you know, because I love John Constantine, that's when I got a little more invested into the show. But again, I wasn't, you know, I've made it very clear that I am not like a diehard like Legends fan. Like I had my issues with the show too. Like for example, I never thought that Wally fitted in on that show, for example, and so on. And I didn't like what they did with Captain Cole. Like that really pissed me off. But like, you know, I enjoyed it to the point where I'm like, yeah, I will, you know, I will still keep watching this. I will still keep enjoying it. But yeah, season 4 has definitely been like rough for a lot of the shows in the franchise. Definitely, like that's what I'm like, I kind of really wanted to see what Batwoman was gonna do in season 4 if they had been renewed.
Yeah, no, but it would have been great to see Batwoman season 4, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, shall we move on? Shall we talk Superman and Lois? Let's talk about it, because they just finished filming the entirety of the show. They just finished filming the series finale. Any thoughts? Let's start with that, and then we'll get into more specific stuff. Any thoughts on Superman and Lois wrapping up? Oh, well, Andy, Dex left into the show.
Okay. Well, major congratulations to everyone who worked on it. Of course, you know, like I know it's been a very, you know, it's been a interesting journey for that show for the last 4 years. It went by really quickly. How, you know, when they filmed the finale, I felt like the finale just started like last Thursday or something. Yeah, you know, it's an end of an era. You know, the franchise is officially over, and you know, I'm hoping now that they're done filming, that we will get a trailer soon, which would be great, and the premiere date and stuff like that. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird to like there's right now there is no DC show in production that, like, you know, it is from the CW, like, because like it feels like every year for the last like 10 years, like, okay, around this time, you know, they're filming, they're shooting, you know, like, or something like this going on, but it's
it's the end of an era. It's like you know, I don't think every time one of these shows ended, we're like, okay, one show's ending, but there's going to be more shows. And now it's like, I think recently it's hit me. It's like, wow, like this is literally the last one. And then what do we have after? Penguin, Peacemaker, but it's not going to be the same type of show that we're used to. And it's so I think
it's going to be a new type of, like, it's a
new type of DC show, which I think can be as good, if not better. We'll see, but obviously there's something very special that the Arrowverse had I think mystery was a big part of it. I think that interconnectedness. So we'll see if what James does with the DCU. But I think, I think maybe like I have a bit of regret that I didn't like keep up with Legends, keep up with Batwoman fully, like on when it came out. Like, yeah, I caught up with the shows, but like if I kept going and kept watching it, like, you know, that would have been better. But at the time, there was just so many shows. You know, sometimes they would air on the same nights, and it would be so much to keep up with every show. And now that seems like the perfect problem to have. I would love that. You know,
I think I'm good. I don't think I need to go. I don't want to go back to the time when we had
that. Is great. I would take that.
I mean, there's so much television now that I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna, you know, really do any more network television anymore. I think I'm gonna kind of just stick to streaming for the foreseeable future, because like, yeah, I like when, you know, I don't want to have to like sit in front of a screen at 8 p.m. and like, also I don't like commercials. I'm just gonna say I don't like commercials.
Well, so actually, that kind of, you know, when you start watching it live, it just kind of was like, okay, like this is really interruptive, because like me and Deck were saying, we started watching The Flash in season 2, so obviously we were watching like as whole episodes.
Oh wow! So you guys weren't even there from the beginning. What a bunch of fake fans!
Yeah, we started season 2.
I am disgusted.
It's tough out here in the UK. We don't have CW. Really tough.
No, I know. I remember because when I was living in when I lived in London in 2012, because that's when Arrow premiered, and I remember like I had to ask my landlord like, hey, you guys don't happen to have the CW in this country, right? And she's like, what the hell is a CW? And then I'm like, I had to spend like a whole day googling like where can I watch Arrow in the UK, and it's like, I think I saw on the forum maybe like, oh, it's gonna possibly air on Sky next year. So you know, I had to find unique ways of watching it. So
well, you know, Superman Lois season 3 is only just premiered in the UK. Like,
I know, yeah, I was just shocked. I was just shocked when I heard like, oh wait, it airs on the BBC in the UK. That's
only Superman Lois. All the other shows were Sky, I think.
Yeah, weird choice. I don't know why it's on the BBC, but fair enough.
I mean, it's probably a good. I mean, it's probably like it's a good IP. So I'm sure BBC was kind of like, well, if we buy the rights for this, could probably, yeah.
No, I'm very happy that they picked it up, because it's more accessible than fucking Sky. Sky's the worst thing ever. Okay, shout out
like
to
everyone
Gary.
in the UK can get BBC, because we all have TV licenses, don't we, Ben?
Yes, we all have DV licenses, because they shove it down your throats. They come to your door and they give you infinite letters. So you have to have your TV license, guys. Okay, shout out to Gary for sending in the super chat, the 199. Really appreciate it. We got Andy here this week, so over to Andy to answer Gary's specific question that he loves to ask.
Throughout the first year, they suck out of my titties, and that's it. I mean, I got them. So you know.
Oh wow!
Is that what you wanted, Gary? Is that the image you want to have in your mind when you go to bed at night?
I think you'll be able to sleep peacefully.
Why? Wait, hold on. Why are we still on this, Gary? Like, come on,
come on, Gary. New questions, Gary. New questions. Also, come on, I'm sure you can find another way to make it uncomfortable.
No, don't worry about me. All I'm saying is that, Gary, like, if you're looking for that type of content, this is not the place to get it. There is lots of different sites where you can see people doing stuff.
Hold that thought. We got a Gary question that we can put on screen. Congrats, Gary. Gary says, is Superman and Lois not airing season 4? Well, yes, they are airing season 4, aiming to be released around fall, which we presume is October, because that's normally when the Arrowverse shows come out. But as Andy was just saying before, hopefully we get a release date soon, maybe with a short teaser trailer. Appreciate the question, Gary, and I appreciate the super chat. Andy, October time?
Sure.
Should be. I mean,
I really don't know. I'm
not quizzing you. It's not that you know.
I had someone like the other week like text me being like you probably know when the premiere is gonna be like. I'm like, no.
I mean, maybe they haven't even decided the exact day.
You think the CW has structure? They don't.
The CW don't have shit, guys. So, yeah. But yeah, I appreciate the super chat, Gary. Really, yeah, we don't know the date for now, but you can presume October time. Yeah. Shout out to Gary once again. Sharon is here. Shout out to Sharon. I think that's the first time you've joined the stream. Craig says it is the end, but the moment it has been prepared for. Tom Baker, the Fourth Doctor.
Yep.
Yeah, went by so
fast. Do you know what Doctor Who is, Ben?
Yes, I do. Yes,
okay.
I do. I've watched Doctor Who, but not religiously. Anyway, yeah, that's a good quote to do with, the show ending. But yeah, it definitely went by so fast, as the Superman and Lois season 4 series finale title is. But yeah, so they finished filming, and we got some photos that are very cool, and they're from Canada Graphs. So shout out to Canada Graphs. You can check out his blog, check out his Twitter and everything. This is a great photo, and I have to remind people that this is the first time we've seen Tyler in his suit this season, like, at all. That's not saying that he's not going to be in the suit. They probably did a bunch of shots inside on the green screen and in studio and stuff. But yeah, clearly there's going to be a lack of downtown Vancouver typical set pieces that these shows always used to do. Like you saw for years on years, like the Flash, Supergirl shooting in the middle of Vancouver, doing these massive action sequences. And yeah, I'm happy to see one. At least we got one. And yeah, what do we think of this photo that Canada Graphs took, guys?
I mean, it's certainly Superman.
It's certainly Superman, and he's all beat up. There's fire in the background. Do we think he's fighting Lex? Like in a Lexo suit? Question mark?
I'm not sure. He looks stealthy though, so I like that.
That's a good answer, Andy. Yeah.
I mean, look at the way he's like he's strutting. He's like, look at those legs. Also, like his legs look thicker than they did last season. So he. Again, I just love that. Something I've noticed from the recencies of all the Arrowverse shows, that these suits barely get torn up anymore. Like it just, they get like their faces get beat up, but like the suits just like they just remain in perfect tact. Like there's no wounds, there's no, like, it's not ripped, it's not shredded, it's just
no
like
gashes across. Yeah. No, but that was actually one pet peeve of mine, like on the Flash and Supergirl, like, when they do the big action set pieces, like, for instance, I remember like Supergirl versus Rain, that big fight in season 3. And my pet peeve is when they have rubble all over the ground, but then there is no actual impact in the ground. Like it's just like rubble that's come out of nowhere, and it's just hilarious because it's just a way of almost implying that shit's gone down. But yeah, same thing for the suits. Obviously, we've seen times when their suits have been ripped up. Not really Superman, but like the Flash. There's many times like when he's been beaten up by Zoom, but actually that was just like his face as well, to be honest.
But again, also I get like these costumes, they're not cheap. They are not cheap to reproduce. So, but I just think it's just so funny, like how like as we've gotten like these like new suit upgrades, it's been more so that, oh, by the way, yes, you will get new costumes, but we ain't tearing these things up. We can't keep reproducing these. So
Yeah. No, I mean, they can't really have like, a million suits just ready to be torn up and everything like that. Because they don't have the budget for that. That's for goddamn sure, especially this season. But yeah, shout out to Nathan, who has just sent in 5 memberships to some of you guys. Really, that's amazing, Nathan. James got 1, Jim, Cloned Avenger, Perfect Image, and the Skulls playlist. So that's very cool. You guys can join us for our Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 watch along if you want. That's a members watch along. Going to be doing that sometime early next week. Have you guys watched Crisis yet, by the way? You do?
I just saw it today.
You just saw part 2?
Mm.
Okay, no spoilers, no spoilers. Because I'm going to watch it next week. But I really like part 1, so looking forward to that. So if you guys are a member, you'll be able to join. So keep an eye on the community tab, because that's where I post to members saying, this is when we're doing the stream and stuff. But yeah, shout out to Nathan. That's really amazing. I always appreciate the support, Nathan. But yeah, so let's just talk a little bit more about Superman season 4 ending. Obviously, everyone's been posting online. Bitsy's been very active. And my one question about the finale and what's going on is, okay, so we've seen everyone returning, right? Like a lot of people. So Sarah's there at least for like one scene, or she's in the penultimate episode. It was one or the other. Will Parks is there. Taylor Buck was there. All the important characters, but the one person that I haven't seen there, and I don't know if you have like any, if you guys have been following it as intently as me, but like Dylan Walsh, he is not there. He hasn't been there for the series finale, as far as I know. So my question is, there is a supposed funeral scene earlier in the season, because they posted BTS of like them in like black suits, black dresses and stuff. Like, question mark, is General Lane dead?
Sure.
I
mean, he's old.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah,
he's old,
I feel it's quite logical based on what we're seeing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how he would die though. That's the, like, would he sacrifice himself, or would he?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, clearly, if Bizarro Doomsday doesn't kill Superman, surely Lex is going to have to find a way to get at Lois in a different way. And I mean, getting to her father, I guess that's the different way. Maybe that's the simple explanation, that Lex just goes after General Lane and he gets killed or something. Like, I doubt he dies of like natural causes in the middle of the season. So as far as I know, the actor who plays General Lane, Dylan Walsh, I believe he only filmed 2 episodes, and it was like pretty early on. It was like first 5 episodes or so. And most of the other cast members who were ex-series regulars, who are now just, guest stars in the season, they all did 2 episodes before, and then they've all returned for the finale. So they're all in 3 episodes at least. So it seems, and I think just logically, if you follow the timeline, that's what's happening. Now, I don't think this is like a major spoiler to you guys. It's just, the funeral photos were by the cast, so that's their fault. If we're, making inferences, and obviously same thing for who's showing up, because they've all been super active. I mean, if they wanted to keep that under wraps, the production didn't do a good job at that. So yeah, just a theory. He could be alive. He could be just, somewhere else, and he's not in the finale. But yeah. Tina sends in a super chat, a $1.99 super chat. Thanks, Tina, for the support. And no problem for doing the stream. And let's see what some of you guys are saying in the chat. So the death of Superman, question mark? Well, he's quite clearly alive here, so I don't think so. General Lane, didn't he get kidnapped last season though? Yeah, he did get kidnapped, but I think the what we all thought when he was actually returning is that, maybe he's fine. But we'll see. Maybe he's still kidnapped at the start of the season. Yeah, that's very kind of Nathan. Thanks, Nathan, once again. Andy, calm yourself down. Apply ice, lol. For what?
Yeah, I'm not. Craig, you need to respond quicker. I don't even know what you're referring to.
Yeah, what is he replying to? I don't know.
I think he's on about the Dilk Superman.
Oh,
but that was like a while ago.
That was a while ago.
Yeah. No, but
he's like a little behind or something, catching up.
Yeah, but we know Craig is slow, so
Mm-hmm. Superman is supposed to have an aura around himself that keeps his suit from getting ripped.
Bull fucking shit.
Yeah, I
That
don't
sounds like
think the
plot armor to
material is
me. But you know, I'm hoping. I just hope that we get more information soon now that they're wrapped.
Yeah, I mean that's the hope, right? Like there was that teaser the other day from that CW account, which I believe is real, saying we've seen a trailer. You would hope that that comes out soon. We were trying to think the other day. I think it was me and you, Deck. Like, what is the next big event? Is it Comic-Con? And is there anything else in the meantime?
It's upfronts next month.
Next month. Yeah, because we were trying to think, has upfronts happened already? Like, we weren't sure. So there you go. I guess look out next month. Andy, do you know the date of the upfronts?
I don't know if it is. Craig probably knows. So.
Craig, if you can tell us in the chat what day the CW upfront is, let us know. Is it like, wait, do they do like 2 upfronts a season? Like, I'm always a bit uncertain.
No, they do. No, do you think about TCAs? TCA, they do one in the during winter and one in the summer. But that's for mostly new TV shows. Upfronts is when they bring like their programming slate for the upcoming television season to promote the advertisers. So, but also I like
that one the other day where they said Superman Lois coming out in the fall. What event was that?
I'm sorry, what?
The event the other day when they like confirmed a bunch of stuff and they said Superman Lois coming out in the fall.
That was TCA, but that was like January, February, so that was a while ago.
Yeah, but that's what I was thinking about. So I thought that was the upfronts. I don't know why. I guess I just didn't look really into it. But yeah, so look out for CW upfronts.
Again, it's not a guarantee because I think honestly some of the Arrowverse fans kind of ruined they kind of like overhyped the idea of what upfronts are supposed to be. Where like because there was one upfront where like we got a lot of news about the upcoming seasons for the DC show, every year from then on everyone was like, oh, we're gonna get a bunch of announcements and castings and costume looks. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. So
that was Comic-Con normally. So.
Well, no, but they started assuming that for upfronts as well. Like every time there was an upfront or there was a DCA, whatever, they felt like they start equivalent that it could be just like Comic-Con, like or like this could be like that one time at TCA when they had all those announcements all at the same time and so on. But I don't know, like I'm hoping since they've already finished filming, I'm hoping CW will bring them there.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, but it's looking unlikely probably that they're going to show up to Comic-Con, even though obviously the casts are probably free unless they're filming something else. It would be great. Imagine that first and final panel at Comic-Con, but it's definitely not in their contracts or anything anymore. So yeah, that's kind of it in regards to that. But yeah. This is, it's going to be bittersweet when it comes out because it is the end of the Arrowverse, and Superman Lois wouldn't exist without the Arrowverse, even though they kind of divorced the Arrowverse in a weird way in season 2, where they tried to separate themselves. But yeah, I think the show did a good job, and it's just I mean it's going to be weird having no shows on. As we said before, it's like we're just going to have these DCU shows where it's like going to be very different, I think, from what we're used to. But, the Penguin's going to be similar to Batman. That's going to be cool because I love the Batman. But then I'm very curious, less so curious about Peacemaker and Waller. I think we know the tone of that just based on Peacemaker season 1. I think we previously said this, that we're more interested in seeing like Booster Gold, seeing Lanterns and everything because those shows are like totally different. Like they're new projects, they're different characters.
I mean, I wouldn't sleep on Waller. I mean, you got Viola Davis, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with because I don't think Waller will be anything like Peacemaker. I think actually Waller will be
more Suicide Squad.
No, I think it's good. I think it's gonna be something very different. I don't think it's gonna be anything like we, again, because it's a new franchise. Yeah, it's the same actors, but I think it's gonna be something very different now.
But do you think Peacemaker season 2 is gonna be just like season 1 as well?
I think it's going to be a mixture, because I think now that they are shifting over, I think it's going to have to be like, because I don't think they want Peacemaker to be just a kind of wacky show. I think they want to start like building the idea of like, like, hey, people need to invest in Peacemaker that more than just a joke.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, I expect something a little bit different with season 2, and I really hope James Gunn does that. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, like, whenever it comes out. But yeah, looking forward to all those shows. Let's talk about our final topic of the live stream. And once again, if you guys want to send in any final super chats, please be sure to do them now, because we're at the 45-minute mark and we got a last couple of topics. And keep sending in your questions and comments in the chat, and we'll get to them bit by bit, even if you are a bit delayed. But yeah, let's talk about this. So this is something very interesting. I don't know if you guys picked up on this, if you've seen any news reports, but first saw this actually on Eric's channel, talking about how the CW is not renewing in some major areas. Did you see that, Andy?
I did see that. I'm kind of like, they're shooting themselves in the foot continually.
Major areas like Miami, Detroit, Norfolk, and Virginia. These are big places, Miami and Detroit. I mean, yeah, what's your thoughts on that, Andy?
They're shooting themselves in the foot. Like, I think it's bad business.
And do you think they're going to find a way to replace them, like, by the time that these shows are out?
Nope.
No? Not at all? No luck?
I don't know. I think they're trying to save as much money as they can.
And so they're sacrificing, like, the whole of Miami, the whole of Detroit. Like, it's kind of insane. And especially if there's fans of, like, Superman and Lois in these areas, like, maybe some of you guys who watch this live stream or on playback, maybe some of you are from, like, Norfolk. Like, I know for a fact that I think Eric is actually based in the Virginia area. And so I know there's other fans in these areas. So you guys are going to have to go through, like, the same hurdles that, like, abroad audiences have to go through, and, like, places in America. I guess not how it feels. Yeah, in a weird way, we're like, ha ha ha, suck it, bitches. But no, it's not the audience's fault. Like, that's the CW's fault, just like trying to be cheap, right? Dec, what's your thought on that? Like, missing out in these major areas.
It's just a little bit wild. Although, like Andy says, this is just them trying to save a bit of cash, really. But it is kind of crazy, and I feel like this is just a sign of things to come at this point. I feel like we're going to see more and more get cut over time.
Yeah, no, I think when
eventually the CW will die.
Yeah, no, but when I first saw it, I was like, this shit's like dying. This shit is like going downhill. Like, the writing is like properly on the wall, even if it wasn't already. I think it was.
Yeah.
But like,
it's cable network TV in general is just, it's on the way out, and the CW was never a huge like major network, not compared to like some of the other like giants you have in America.
Oh, of course, it never did the numbers as well. So
yeah, so like, you've got those big networks like ones like ABC and ones like that where they'll be around for a bit longer, but the CW was always sort of on the lower end of that spectrum. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I feel like this is honestly just a sign of things to come. I think we'll see more areas get cut from the network until eventually the network cuts its own life force and dies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gonna come at some point. Like, yeah, it could come in the next couple of years. It could come later on, but yeah, this is just not a good sign. But one weird thing I did spot also was that, I'm sure you guys saw this, but the CW added 2 more episodes to All American, which is one of the remaining shows on the CW. What did you make of that? Do you think that's them trying to?
They're investing in what works for them, because All American it does really well for the CW, even during the old regime. So, which I think is cool. Yeah, because I'm always in favor of shows that are focused on people of color or minority voices, getting more spotlighted. So, I saw people, of course, getting pissed. Like, why are we only getting 10 episodes of Superman Low, but we get extra for All American? But one, it's not as expensive as Superman Low.
It's not.
But two, All American does better. Like, because of their Netflix deal, but also like apparently through their CW platform, like it does do really, really well for them. So I'm like, God bless them. And I do think if they do come back for season 7, that probably will be it.
Yeah.
But that's, again, I don't really watch that show, but again, it's that's it, again, if it's cheap for them to make it, then they're gonna make it.
Yeah, I heard that they might, if they do another season, they might like have like a younger cast or something, like a different cast, more like Riverdale.
That would make sense. Like they kind of transition into like the next generation, especially if like, because I read an article somewhere where they said like, this season they're kind of like the main character is getting close to like the full circle of his entire series arc. So if that's the case, then you could transition to like the next generation of college kids or whatever what they're doing, and focus on that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that the CW kind of added 2 episodes, kind of showing their support, but also in a weird way, like I felt at the back of my mind, like, are they just gonna end the show right there? Come up with an announcement? Because you remember when Superman Lois season 4 was announced to be renewed, they didn't announce it was ending, but they later came to an agreement, or they all were like, okay, let's end this. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it's interesting, but it seems like more and more the cheapest shows, like I'm not saying All American's the cheapest show, like they have cheaper shows now, like that one with, who's that actor from Riverdale? Vanessa
Morgan?
Yeah. Vanessa Morgan, like she has that show Wild Cards. Apparently it's really cheap for them because it's made in Canada, and I don't know what the costs are, but apparently with those shows doing decently well, they can actually start to ease off on the other shows, which is a bad thing for those remaining shows like All American Homecoming, Walker. Obviously Superman Lois excluded because it's ended, or it's ending soon. So yeah, that's kind of it in regards to that. But I just thought it was really interesting, the whole CW next star dropping Miami, dropping Detroit, and these 5 other areas. Like that's just insane to me. Can't believe they're actually doing that. And they said, oh, we're gonna get a new partner in the areas. It's very confusing, but you can just see it as like, all these individual areas have these different local network stations, and that's just how America runs on TV. But Craig has caught up, and Craig says,
"Thank God he did." A man in his age, like
at least he's watching the whole stream. I rate that, Craig. I don't see CW upfronts on the calendar this year. Interesting. They also assumed every show will get panels. I think that's talking about CW fans, talking about Arrowverse fans back in the day. They might be able to afford to bring them to TCA or SDCC because they're already wrapped and won't be under contract. That's what I was saying. Like they're not under contract anymore, the actors. So let's hope and pray they do something at Comic-Con or TCA. Upfronts, they might be still in for if there are them, ... But like I said, it looks like the CW isn't doing it. They'll probably just do a conference call / announcement. Yeah, so maybe they would just replace it. Another big cost for them doing the upfronts, I guess. But yeah, shout out to Cal. See you later, Cal. Craig continues by saying, if they lose affiliates, but I think they'll still have affiliates in those areas. So he's talking about Miami, Detroit, and everything on digital sub-channels. And he says, I believe that's what's happened in other places. I don't think Miami and Detroit will be CW less. Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to, Nathan, I don't really have much trust, and Andy doesn't have much trust. And
I mean, I'm going to make it perfectly clear. Like, the moment Superman Lois finishes,
oh no, same.
I'm done. I am done with the CW. And I'm like, again, like I'm not thinking about it again. I've graduated from the CW. So for me, when all these news comes out about oh, they're losing this affiliate or they're losing this partner, they're doing these layouts, I'm just like, I don't care. Like the CW to me, as I knew it from 2006, it's dead. I don't like. I will watch I don't even know if I'm going to watch Lois live every week. I might try and catch here and there. But again, for me, I'm just like I moved on. Like I'm done. So if they want to shoot us something to the foot and just keep losing money or just keep doing whatever, do whatever fuck you want. Like I'm happy I just write about these shows. I'm happy that I don't work on networks or anything like that because this just sounds like a headache. So
definitely had it. Well, I'm going to be watching it week to week. That's for good, I'm sure, because I've waited long enough. It's nearly been a year since season 3. I don't know. I'm just like,
I remember having this energy when I was your age. So I'm like I'm seeing like me through you, and I'm like, damn, this is what I was like. I was like, I will stay up all night. I will watch every episode live. I will live tweet.
Well, I mean, me and Deck, I think we were like, what, how old when we were watching them first?
Well, I would have been like 15,
16.
Oh
16,
my, fuck you both for being so young.
Yeah, like I remember it was like going to school, having to juggle like staying up at like 2, 3 a.m. and then going to school, and it was like, well, yeah, that was crazy times. But I remember like me and Deck met for the first time in 2017 at an event in London, Heroes and Villains. And I just remember like, obviously that's still pretty early on, but we were definitely still in school, right? Or maybe
I graduated high school that year.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Wait, me too? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, I don't remember, but yeah. Alejandro agrees with you, Andy. I'm 25, can't do that anymore. Stay so late.
That's when it started for me too. Like when I turned 25, I was kind of like, man, 22 episodes it's a lot of nights to stay up for, because I'm like, because I was back, in there before season 6, I think I was live tweeting every episode of the Flash from the Flash podcast. But like when I got to 25, I'm like, I'm getting a little I'm a little tired. I'm like shit, my back is hurting and shit. So like, so that's when, like, when we got the host we had from season 6 and onward, like we would take turns every week. I'm kind of, oh, thank God, because I can't do this every week anymore.
Yeah, no, I remember like it's hard. Like first we obviously had to stay up to like 1, 2 a.m. or something until it started, and then you watched it, and then I made a video after for an hour after, and then went to bed at 4 a.m. and it was like I remember at times just like falling asleep and waking up like a minute after the Flash started. I'm like fucking scrambling, like, oh my God, I missed it. Like some weeks I actually did miss like Arrow and Supergirl and like just like sleeping through it because just so tired, like 4 nights in a row or something, like crazy. Sharon says, you are not old, guys. You are not old, Andy.
Tell that to my fucking back.
She is saying, Andy, you're not old.
Well, my body begs to differ.
Yeah.
Pop that comment back up again, then.
I'm so old. I'm so old.
Clicked off that one.
I'm so old that I just like a couple of streams ago, like I literally call Declan by the wrong name. Like that's how old I am. I couldn't even remember the right name.
And he's losing his memories already. Barry, what'd you do to the timeline? Question mark. But yeah, okay, guys. I think that pretty much does it for this live stream. So I want to thank everyone that's tuned in throughout the live stream and sent in super chats, commented in the chat. Big shout out as always to the members of the channel, but also shout out to Craig for following along and watching the whole live stream. That's awesome. And I saw your tweet, Craig, about today, but editing is still in. I think it's
Wait, what happened? What did he do? What did he tweet now? Because he
wait, let me go up before we end the stream.
Oh Christ!
What did he have to see this? Did I like it? Shit. Where is it? Was it on Krypton site? I think it was. Pulling it up, guys. Pulling it up. I need to bring this up. Shit, what account was it on, man? I don't know.
He has so many.
Surely I liked it. Or Craig can link it in the chat. Oh, I got it. Virtue missing vanishes in crisis.
Oh my God.
Great job, Craig. Great job. Yeah, so we'll end you with this haunted image of what should have been in the newspaper of the Flash. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll catch you next Thursday for another live stream. And go check out Andy's different channels, you know, Flash Podcast, but also Showrunner Whisperer.
Yeah, we just dropped a new episode right before I got on. So if anyone, if you guys, you know, because today the Dead Boy Detectives premiered on Netflix, you know, which is, you know, it is
I need to watch
DC.
it. Oh, did they release all the episodes?
It's Netflix, man. Yes, they did.
Okay,
yes.
so we
it's
can
the show is so good. It is so enjoyable.
Finally, you can say.
So yeah, go catch a show and then come and listen to my chat with Stevie Hockey as we talk about. There's spoilers in that interview, so yeah, definitely go check it out. But the show is fun. Like, I didn't know these characters before, but if you guys love the Sandman, you will probably enjoy this show too.
Yeah, I love the Sandman, so I'm definitely down to watch it. Thanks for the reminder. I totally forgot it was out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Go check out Declan's channel, DC Central. Hopefully some new videos soon. And go check out my video. I uploaded one yesterday and I'll have one out tomorrow as well. So for now, thank you for watching and we'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.